The Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair tonight. We're excited. On the Fiddler's Grove Opry stage will be Georgette Jones, and she's on the phone with me this morning. Georgette, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
I am so glad to have you on. Congratulations for Emmy Awards for George and Tammy. I know you've got to be excited about that.
I am truly over the moon. It's just really exciting to see everybody else love it as much as we all do. So, yes, we're grateful.
Let's talk first. I know we talked a little bit about the movie, but let's talk a little bit about the decision to write the book, The Three of Us, Growing Up with Tammy and George.
Yeah, I basically, it kind of became apparent to me after a book came out about my mom. I started trying to read it and got to about page 90 and just realized that the story that they were telling about mom did not resonate with me. It did not seem like the person I knew. And I knew that there were a lot of thoughts out there, the things that people only saw on TV about both of my parents. And it's just really not all that accurate. People thought that my dad, they just knew the wild stories and, the outlaw stuff. And my dad was very much so an old-fashioned and, very loyal and funny and kind, and there's so many things about both my parents I wanted people to know. So I decided then to write a book about both of them and let people know what it was like growing up with them. And I was very honored that Abe Sylvia, the writer of the TV series, had read the book and just thought about contacting me then to maybe start this project. So it was really an amazing process from start to finish.
Thank you for sharing them with us. We get a different insight, of course, you being the only child of Tammy Wynette and George Jones. But let's talk about George and Tammy. I'm always curious to know, how do you decide how far to go, how much to put into both the book and the movie?
Well, it was definitely a long process to begin with, and I had a lot of help when it came to the book. Patsy Bell Cox helped me write the book, and really thanks to her, it was her expertise in having helped other people write their biographies in the past that helped really guide me. And, I wanted to be honest because I wanted people to know that, sometimes even people you look up to, everybody is just the same. We're all people. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all struggle with very similar things. So I wanted to be honest in that respect so that, maybe something could help someone possibly down the road. And but I wanted people to know who my parents were in the process, whether it would be something that they went through or triumph over, just we're all human.
Well, and being born into this family, at what point as a kid, when did you realize that your parents were country music royalty?
Well, to be honest, I think it was quite a long time before it really sunk in because for us growing up, mom and dad were mom and dad, and people that they worked with were their friends and coworkers. And we just, the Opry was where they went to work, places like that. It just seemed very common because we grew up watching it that way. So I remember in my early 20s being at my mom's house, and this was kind of a significant moment, I guess, because mom's in the kitchen cooking breakfast, and I'm looking on the table, and I see mom's in Rolling Stone magazine. And I flip it open, and I go, and mom's literally like 6-page in the middle centerfold part of Rolling Stone magazine. And so I start reading the article, and she had been at a rainforest benefit with people like Sting and James Taylor and Elton John, Pavarotti, Whitney Houston, all of these people. And I was huge fans of all of these people. And the article finally concluded by saying that in the night there was only one standing ovation, and it was when Mom sang Stand By Your Man. And I was like, Mom, how cool is that? A standing ovation. And she was like, uh-huh. She's like, you want sausage gravy or red-eye gravy? And she was just, she didn't even think about it. It didn't really sink in the way it did with me at that moment,
She was in that mom role, which I love. That's a big deal to turn that off, to be the queen of country music, and then she's in there making sausage for you.
And most definitely.
Your parents sing some of the most iconic songs, and one that means a lot to this community is from your dad, George Jones, He Stopped Loving Her Today. The reason being Of course, it was written by Bobby Braddock and Curly Putman, but Curly and his family, of course, we lost Curly in 2016, are from this community and live in this community. So that song has always been special.
Well, absolutely, and he was such a talented and amazing person, in general. So, he was just fantastic, and what an amazing song for my dad's career. Both he and Bobby certainly had a huge part in my dad coming back in country music. It was, He Stopped Loving Her Today was his comeback moment, and it was a song that he carried around for such a long time, not certain if he wanted to record it. So it turned out, obviously, to be the best thing he could ever do. It was so well liked.
Talk about the moment that you decide. I'm sure growing up in this household there was always singing. You're a singer as well, but talk about, was there pressure the first time you took the stage being Georgette Jones, the daughter of Tammy Wynette and George Jones, or did you just enjoy it?
Well, I started singing on stage with my parents when I was only 3 years old.
Yeah.
At 3, I didn't realize it, but I can tell you that somewhere around 8 or 9, it started sinking in that people were paying attention. I'd hear people say something like, I wonder if she's going to sound like her mom, or if she'll phrase this like her dad, or things like that. And around that age, I started getting really nervous about singing in front of people again because of that. And it would make me just absolutely terrified. I had to go out and sing for a long time. And it wasn't really until after my mom passed away I was 27 when Mom passed. And I think it was at that point that I realized that, it's really not about whether or not people like what they hear when I sing. It's about if I enjoy singing and writing, if I enjoy making music, then if that's something I want to pursue. And I had stayed away for most of my life out of fear of, how was I going to be able to live up to those expectations. And once I realized it wasn't about that, it was about trying to follow a dream that I wanted to pursue. And, it wasn't about being compared. And I finally felt comfortable to start trying to pursue music full time. And I've been doing that. I was a registered nurse for 17 years and started pursuing music full time in 2009.
You had a part at the end of George and Tammy. Talk about that experience.
It really was exciting just because, I don't really truthfully see myself as an actress. I've had 2 opportunities in my lifetime to do some acting because of wonderful people, but I thought it was really nice of them to offer to allow me to have like a little cameo. So I was in 2 different scenes of the series. One where they're showing the 2 of them singing on a stage together and talking, and you can see the backup singers. There's 4 guys and 1 girl. The one on the end is me. And then in the last scene of the entire series, they really allowed us to be in an amazing scene together where we all sing together. And that was just really very special. And I loved the way they ended the series. I felt like it was a positive way to try to end something that had been, of course, very emotional to watch.
Well, a book is one thing, but to sit in a theater or sit in a viewing room and see actors portraying what is your life, what was it like first to see the actress, the little girl that played you? What was it like to see your family situation play out on screen?
It was very surreal, to be honest. I think the first time I watched it was literally 2 days before the premiere. We're getting ready to go to Nashville for the first screening, and they were kind enough to send it to me to let me watch first because they said, we didn't know if you really would want to watch this for the first time with everybody else watching it for the first time. And I appreciated that because it was very emotional. There were times where I cried a lot, and there were times where I laughed. There was times where, it was really a roller coaster of emotions, which, to be honest, is exactly what their lives were like. It was a roller coaster of emotions, and I felt like they really captured so much of what they had told me they would, and I was just very proud of what they made.
Well, again, thank you for sharing your parents and sharing yourself and the story with all of us that love your family, for sure. Let's talk about tonight. You are going to be taking the stage, Fiddler's Grove Opry Stage, coming up tonight. We're excited about the show. Talk about what you're going to do tonight.
So we are going to do a few songs of my mom's, a few songs of my dad's, and a couple of my own. And I'm just really excited to be able to work with them and to be at the Tennessee State Fair. It's exciting. I've never played it before.
You're going to love it. Before we became, I guess it was 4 years ago, we became the Tennessee State Fair. Our line would always be, we're not the state fair, but we're the best fair in the state. Now we truly are both. So
absolutely,
you're going to love it. Georgette, this has been such a pleasure. Cannot wait to see you tonight on the Fiddler's Grove Opry stage. Thank you so much. Travel safe, and we'll see you tonight.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you too. Have a good day.
Hey, you too.
It's our Halloween special.
I got it wrong.
We'll be playing all your favorite Halloween songs.
It's alive!
Halloween night beginning at 5 p.m.
Happy Halloween, darling.
Tune in if you dare.
Halloween's my kind of a holiday.